Thank you for stopping by. This is Jeffrey Weiss, your political activist, keeping you informed of local and world events. Today we discuss another ally deserted. The ramifications of Trump pulling American troops out of Syria will be felt for years, and not just by the Kurds, but by the thousands of American troops who will have to go back into Syria and Iraq to fight ISIS again. Kurdish-dominated Syrian Democratic Forces suffered 360 casualties in the first few days of the Turkish assault. Hundreds of ISIS detainees escaped from prison secured by the Kurds. The U.S. military left behind 60 high-value ISIS prisoners, the leaders of the ISIS movement and their best military tacticians. An estimated 300,000 Kurds fled their homes. Besides the Kurds killed by the Turks, 9 were hanged, including a prominent politician. The U.S. pullout has been called a betrayal by many, not just the Kurds. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, a staunch defender of Trump, said the decision to abandon the Kurds is a complete and utter national security disaster. The vacuum left by the U.S. the withdrawal is being filled by the Russians and the troops of Syrian dictator Bashar al-Assad. In a farcical move, Trump sent Mike Pence and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to ask Erdogan to cease his attacks on the Kurds. They passed along a message to Erdogan that serious economic sanctions would ensue if the Turkish president continued his attacks on the Kurds. Of course, that is a joke. Erdogan doesn't care about sanctions. Erdogan doesn't care if his people starve. Erdogan doesn't care if the Turkish economy crashes. He is a heartless, selfish, arrogant bastard. He believes that if the Kurds are allowed to remain intact, they will eventually become a force so strong that they can take control of Turkish territory. In his mind, he is fighting for his life. Trump said, the Kurds are no angels, and the fighting in Syria has nothing to do with us. It is true, the Kurds are no angels. They have killed many. However, who they killed is important. They almost single-handedly defeated ISIS, losing 11,000 fighters in the battles, and while Americans lost only a dozen men. Trump's actions have been noted by many of our allies who no longer believe they can count on American support. They will seek alignment with Russia and China and possibly Iran. One Army officer said, "This will go down as a stain on America's reputation for decades." As for Trump's declaration of wanting to get the U.S. out of the endless wars, he was, at the same time, deploying 1,800 American troops to help defend Saudi Arabia from Iran. That implication is clear. America only cares about allies if they sell us a lot of oil and buy a lot of American weapons in return. Trump's actions and declarations are part of Trump's policy of winging it and relying on his brilliance as the world's greatest negotiator. If my articles interest you, please use the link to check out my website and books. Thank you very much.